Open the door, and then we're going to remove the inner liner from this pocket. This is held in place right around here on the perimeter. So if you grab there and pull out, then you'll need to remove the USB cable from the pocket. Next, we're going to be removing the speaker grills. So you're going to need something like a little plastic pry tool, or if you don't have anything like this, you can use a small flat tip screwdriver. Just put a piece of masking tape over the end so you don't scratch anything. So we're going to come right here on the side, and we're going to pop behind. Next, we'll need to remove this headlight surround, and the tool that you'll need for that, again, is your plastic pry bar. We're going to go right up here at the top. You want to get between the bezel and the fairing, push down, and pull out. And what you're trying to get are these two pieces to drop down, and then these two clips, one on each side, will pull out. Next, we'll need to remove 3 6mm hex head bolts. There's one located in this pocket, a second in this pocket, and then the third one is up here, unfortunately not visible to the camera angle. And just for your future reference, when you go to put the bike back together, all three of these are the same. Next step, there are 3 connectors behind the fairing that will need to be unplugged. One is on the right side as you sit on the bike, 2 on the left side. Unfortunately, due to the design, it's really difficult to show real time how it's being removed. So the connector body, there is the tab that has to be depressed to unplug it. That faces towards the rear. So this connector is right behind here, positioned like this. So from the back side, you will put your finger on that tab and pull it out to the side. The first one on this side is opposite of that. The finger tab is still located on the back, but it pulls that way. So there's the finger tab, and this will be removed this way. And then there is one more connector, basically the same over that one. Now note that one is a 4-position connector, and one is a 3-position connector, so they cannot be interchanged. The next step will be to remove 2 4mm Allen screws on each side. First one is located at the top just over the speaker. The second one is located inside the pocket in the upper right hand corner. And just for your reference, these screws are identical, so you don't have to worry about position. Last 2 bolts to remove, 6mm Allen, and they are pointing at an angle back towards the front of the cylinder head. And then remove the same one on the opposite side. At this point, there are 2 pins up in the top of the fairing that are holding the outer fairing shell to the motorcycle. The rubber grommets that slide over those pins are attached to the fairing, so when you pull this forward, you have a little bit of resistance from those. So the next step is going to be to take the template that comes with the kit, and we need to mark the whole location. So you'll notice that the template is labeled top, out, in, and this indicates left side. Now this is a prototype template. When yours comes in the kit, it will look a little bit different, not hand rounding like this one is. So we're going to take the top line here, and we're going to line it up with the edge of the plastic, and then we're going to take this outside line and line it up with the outside of the fairing. Alright, all looks good. And we're going to take our center punch, or if you don't have a center punch, you can use a pick probe and mark your hole. In this next step, we're going to take our step drill bit. This particular one is in millimeters, so we're going to drill it out to 20 millimeters. So we find the hole that we just marked. Remove your plastic that was drilled out, and you're ready for the next step. Next, we're going to take the rubber grommet from the light, and we're going to insert it into the hole. Once that is done, you will take the light with the bullet connectors, place the bullet connectors through the hole, and then you're going to want to push the light until it's flush. Now we're going to want to remove the two 6mm Allens that hold the battery cover in place. Now we'll need to remove the bolt that is holding the battery hold-down bar in place. Next, we're going to remove the two bolts for the very top of the grill. Next, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the two bolts from the battery. Do your ground side first. Okay, once you have both of those removed, there's slots on the bottom of the battery tray. Put your fingers in there and use them to manipulate the battery to come out. The connector for the Puddle light is right here. So what you're going to do is take this wire and you're going to pull it to the right, and that should unclip it from the base. Once you have that done, press right here, unplug this. So you're going to want to take your harness that comes with the kit, and the side that has the connector that matches what the factory Puddle light has is this 2-pin black connector. So what we're going to do with this is, where the clutch cable comes down right here, we're going to just right at the end of the radiator, so right about this point, you're going to push this through, and the goal is to get it down underneath this battery box, and preferably on the back side so that we can keep it out of the way of the battery. So the connector may end up coming out next to your shift lever. If it does, that's fine. You'll be able to redirect it back down to where we need it. Okay, and that's exactly where mine ended up. It was down along the side of the shifter. So now what I'm going to do is bring it out. Let me reposition this. So now I have my new connector from my new cable, and we're going to plug that into the connector that the Puddle light was originally plugged into. Okay, once we have done that, we are going to secure this cable to this clutch cable with the supplied wire ties. Take the supplied wire ties, and every couple inches add another wire tie. Until you're all the way up. More than likely, when you inserted the light into the grommet, the wires came through a hole, and that goes into the real estate where the rubber cubby is. I do like to get these out of the way, so pull the light out, and what you'll want to do is put a little bend in the wires at the end, and then what we're trying to do is bring them out right underneath here. So the bend should get them under the bracket. And if you can grab one, pull it up, and then push your light in. The connection on this is, you're going to connect the black wire from the light to the black wire on the harness, and they just push in. And then what you're going to want to do is grasp the rubber boot that is on the light, hold it in place, and then push the light together. Once we get everything ran, we will tidy this up and wire tie it off, but this is where we're going to stop until the next step. Next step, we're going to take the extension for the right side of the bike, and the first thing is we need to get it behind this bracket. And we want to pull the slack out until this rests right up against that bracket. Then we are going to run this straight up. And this way we can be sort of integrated and align ourselves with the existing harness on the bike. Run this over the top. Alright, and then what you're going to do is we're going to thread this down behind the motor for the window. I'm sorry, the windscreen. And we're trying to get it to come out right here, like that. And then once you've done that, on the opposite side, on that same bracket, but on the other side, we need to go behind it as well. So put your finger back there, feel around for it, spin the wire, and then grab them and pull them down. So we need to go ahead and take this light out and rerun it like we did on the opposite side. Note, I did take the little winglet off on this side. Not necessary, but does give a little more visual otherwise. And again, from the light, the black wire to the red, and then the white from the light to the black on the harness. Once that's in place, we will wire tie off the excess, but you do need to make sure that the wire for the light remains in this channel. Alright, now we have the wire for the light coming up from underneath the bottom and not through the center hole as we did on the other side, and it is going to be black to black and red to white. Alright, to properly secure the wire, what we're going to do is take the light side and fold it over to the harness side, and then use one of the 4-inch wire ties in your kit to secure it to itself. Take your cutters, remove the excess, and then that's going to get tucked up right up in there, and then that wire needs to lay in this channel right here so it can be out of the way of this fairing bolt. So we've reconnected the battery, and we want to run a test to make sure that we have everything hooked up before we reassemble the bike. Once the battery's hooked up, grab your key fob, hit the lock button, then hit the unlock button. You'll get 3 flashes, and then the puddle lights will come on. You then check both sides to make sure that you have complete operation.